I am politically homeless. And before anybody tells me my vote doesn't matter, let me tell you exactly why I'm still going to be at the polls anyway. This is Jamie Unfiltered, episode 13, Voting Rights and Political Homelessness. This is not a teaching. This is my rant, my actual perspective. And if you don't agree with all of it, that's fine. Stay anyway.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the feeling. Let's get into the feeling.
You are tuned in to the Soulful Sanctuary frequency, where disruption does not get the last word. Come to rebuild, transform into wholeness, and become who you were always meant to be. This is the Jamie London Clay Show, an anthology of teaching, impartation, commentaries, and song. 5 distinct voices, 1 frequency. Tune in. Welcome to Jamie Unfiltered, where I say the thing out loud that I can't sit on anymore. This isn't teaching. This isn't measured commentary. This is my actual perspective on what's happening in our politics, our culture, and our community. No hedging, no filter. I'm Jamie London Clay, and this is Jamie Unfiltered. So let me get to it. My panties have been in a bunch for weeks now. Because midterms are coming, and I have never in my life watched this country operate in a more dangerous political condition than right now. Politics have always been broken. I'm not naive about that. But what's happening right now is different, and I can't sit on it anymore. Not and be quiet. Again, this is episode 13, Voting Rights and Political Homelessness is my discussion for tonight. Jamie Unfiltered is where I say the thing out loud that I can't sit on anymore. This isn't a teaching. This isn't measured commentary. Watching what's happening right now with voting rights, the midterms coming up, and everything else in this news cycle, I could not say something. This is my actual perspective about the damn thing, unfiltered. I am Jamie London Clay, identity reconstruction guide, prophetic teacher, truth bringer, and singer. I help people rebuild their identity, purpose, and life after disruption and collapse through spirit-led truth and whole person development. This one is for every voter tired of being told to pick the lesser of two evils, when neither one is actually less evil, whether you call yourself a Democrat or a Republican or independent like me. For every Democrat disappointed in the direction their own party, is letting things go. For every Republican who's watched their party stop resembling anything they signed up for. For every black voter who has shown up to every single election since they were legally able to. Their ancestors bled for the right, still ringing in their ears, exhausted by both parties, and still standing in line anyway. And this is for every soldier and every branch of this military, of the U.S. government who served and fought for our freedom and equality, defending an outdated, confusing document that has never fully lived up to what it promised anyone who looks like any of us. You are not alone in what you're thinking. So you may be asking, Jamie, what you ranting about, girl? Trending right now, before I get into it, here's what's actually on the table right now, so you understand exactly why I couldn't sit on it. Voting rights and the midterms. The 2026 midterms are set for November 3rd. All 435 House seats, 35 Senate seats, and this cycle also happens to mark the country's 250th anniversary. We have a Supreme Court ruling this year that gutted long-standing Voting Rights Act protections. And Republican states didn't waste a second. Florida moved fastest, redrawing their maps to net several more GOP House seats. And Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Mississippi, and South Carolina are lining up to do the same thing. As of this month, the president removed every single commissioner from the Election Assistance Commission, so it doesn't even have a quorum to act anymore. The ACLU landed its largest midterm program ever, spending millions across 9 states just on voting rights, fair courts, and protecting what's left of our democracy. And even though courts have repeatedly blocked the White House from compiling national voter data or restricting mail ballots, voting rights advocates are warning this administration is going to keep testing the limits all the way through November. The Epstein files. A federal judge ordered the DOJ to release the unredacted Epstein files by July 2nd. That deadline and came and went. They've released about 3.5 million pages total, and they are still sitting on roughly 2.5 million more, citing victim protections. Yeah. Critics, and I'm one of them, believe they're protecting powerful people named in those files. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has been under repeated court pressure and lawsuits, including from journalist Katie Fang. And the DOJ has said they're appealing instead of complying. This has already cost people their positions, media figures, academic figures, names are surfacing, and careers are ending in real time because of this Epstein mess. Foreign policy and allies and enemies shifting. NATO allies are openly questioning whether the U.S. can even be relied on anymore. After Trump publicly criticized the alliance this year, and European partners refused to help protect shipping lanes during joint U.S.-Israel operations against Iran, we're turning everybody away from us. We already get on their nerve. Analysts are describing Washington and Jerusalem as less aligned than they've been in months. Even while the military and diplomatic ties stay just as tangled. U.S.-Venezuela tensions are ranked as one of the top security concerns for this entire year. And direct U.S. military action is still very much on the table. And Israeli personnel have been active on the ground in Venezuela following a disaster response. Why are they over there? I don't know. Which has people around the world reacting very differently depending on who you ask. And let's not forget the very most important. They done stole those people's president. We done went over there and stole Maduro or whatever the man name is over there in Venezuela, and caused havoc in his country. There's also a provision in the 2027 Defense Bill, Section 219, that would tie the U.S. and Israeli militaries together in ways future presidents couldn't easily undo. What the hell? Because where they do that at? Where we start doing that? Why would we do such a thing? And why are Republicans and Democrats both fighting to strip it out right now? Why they gotta fight to strip that out? Why is that even in? There's an actual resolution sitting in Congress to rewrite the 22nd Amendment so Trump could run for a third term. I don't even think the man gonna live long enough. But they fighting to get a third term in on him. And I believe if they can get a third term in on him, they'll kill him and let JD be the president so they can really do what they want to do. Because they ain't going to need him no more. That's how I feel. He himself said this week, he knows he's not allowed to do what he's doing. Make of that what you want. And then there's the new tea about Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell. Graham apparently died July 11th, hours after coming back from a trip to Ukraine. And McConnell has been out of public view since mid-June, they say. Hospitalized, they say. And Kentucky's own governor has said he received calls suggesting McConnell had died before McConnell's office ever said a word. And they still ain't said a word. It's been over a month. That's the landscape. Now, let me tell you how I actually feel about all of it. This is my rant. My rant. My opinion. My thoughts. My view. I have voted as an independent voter in every single election cycle since I was legally able to vote. I've never missed one. Not just the presidents. I've been voting for all of the cycles. Even when I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm more informed today. But I have been voting in all the cycles. My ancestors bled for that right, whether it was respected or ignored. And I just don't take that lightly. A lot of people believe voting doesn't matter. I don't believe that. And here's why. If it truly didn't matter, they wouldn't be working this hard to dismantle access to it. Nobody spends this much energy blocking something that's already meaningless. They're not making it a matter less. They're trying to convince us it doesn't matter precisely because it does. The Republican Party is actively dismantling our rights and the Constitution as we speak. A document that, in my opinion, needed serious updating for the world we actually live in now, long before any of this started. But it needs to be done with everyone included, not just the Republicans. We have a corrupt executive branch, a corrupt judicial branch. None of this is new. It's just worse than I've ever personally watched it get. I am an independent. I don't think this country needs a new political party. I think the majority of us need to leave the two-party system entirely and vote independent of both. Here's the real problem, though. We don't actually have anyone to vote for. Even as independents, we're told to pick the lesser of two evils. Neither party, though, is less evil. In the ways that matter most to me, they are functioning and functionally the same. And I genuinely do not understand black people who still represent either party at this point, given everything we know. It's sad to watch. Martin Luther King Jr. said toward the end of his life that he feared he had led his people into a burning house, and he was absolutely right. Generation after generation, black voters have swung from one party to the other, and neither one has been fundamentally fair or good to us, representation or not. The Electoral College, in my opinion, is a fraud, and it needs to be dismantled. And watching the entire United States government align itself the way it has, particularly with Israel, has woken something up in me about the atrocity I believe we're actually facing. And I don't say that lightly. Honestly, I don't always know how to feel as an independent voter. I've thought about not voting at all because something deep in me, it won't let me sit that one out. And here's the truth. I despise both parties. I want nothing to do with either of them. I don't trust a single politician smiling in our faces. And watching the Democratic Party allow this current administration to dismantle what's left of this country and its morals is unforgivable to me. But I will still be at the polls with my vote. And to the politicians aligning themselves with AIPAC over the interests of this country, in my opinion, that's collusion with a foreign entity, and it should be treated as the treason I believe it is. I consider them traitors, plainly. I am deeply, deeply disappointed in every one of them, especially the black ones. And let me say this, as plainly as I know how, I believe Mitch McConnell is dead. Period. Full stop. A photo of a man sitting in a chair is not proof of life. Not for a man who has never once in decades avoided showing his face to the American people, even when he stood frozen in front of us on camera. I don't need his office statement. And I don't need anyone's permission to say what I see. They don't get to keep insulting our intelligence and call it privacy. And Lindsey Graham, I don't need a medical examiner's report to tell me what my own pattern recognition already knows. Governments lie to protect their own interests. They always have. I don't accept an official story just because it's official. I believe his death is suspicious. And I'm not backing or taking that back. As an older Xennial, I think that's how they want us to say it, Xennial, watching how we were lied to historically, fundamentally, generationally, it's hard to look past, and I'm tired. I'm angry. I want to see real significant change for the betterment of humanity while a small minority tries to claim the world for themselves at the expense of people like me and you. That's selfish, and that is absolutely insane. But I believe God is in control of the outcome at the end of the day. I want to see the power of we the people actually rise up, though. Not just in social media think pieces like this one, in real life, at the polls. Do your research. Vote. And if you haven't been voting, I need you to reconsider that this cycle, please. We're in a crisis, and we need everybody. If you don't know who to vote for, it's time for you to get to learning. Do your research. Because I believe we the people hold the power to overturn a broken system. They don't expect all of us to show up, especially the black community. And that's exactly why they go out of their way to block us. We hold a kind of power that is a genuine threat to their system, regardless of what they try to convince us to believe about ourselves. That's why they're trying to kill us. That's why they keep poisoning our food. They poisoning the air, the water, anything. If they can get us all to just drop dead, that would work out for them. They ain't got to do so much work. But we ain't dying. Because the power is not held in their hands. Nothing that they do will be able to overcome us. It is not God's will. It is not in God's plan. I know they think they God and they got this and they run this country and they run everybody and they trying to implement mind control through frequencies and music and poisons through our food, through our water, through our products, through our clothes. Jesus Louises. But they will. I hope they won't prevail. So get out and vote. This has been another episode of Jamie Unfiltered. My honest, unfiltered take on what's happening around us. Tell me in the comments where you stand on any of this. I read every single one. And sign up for my newsletter so you never miss an episode. And check out my Amazon shop. You might find something on there you like. The link is going to be below in the description. You can check it for books and tools that keep you grounded, and any products you use on the Amazon site. All of the purchases, I do get a portion of each percentage of each order you make on Amazon when you use my link as an affiliate of Amazon. Okay. Thank you for listening to my rant. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hit notifications so you do not miss what is next. This is your Soulful Sanctuary Frequency, the Jamie London Clay Show. Follow for more empowerment and more soulful frequency. And make sure you check out the other segments that make up my anthology show, the Jamie London Clay Show, The Crossing, The Complete You, Jamie Unfiltered, Dear Jamie, and Lady Soul. I'll see you in the next one. This is the Soulful Sanctuary Frequency, the Jamie London Clay Show, where disruption does not get the last word. Keep building, keep crossing, keep being who you were always created to be. You tuned in? That means something. Thank you for being here, and I mean that.